Hello, everyone. Oh, there we go. I am here. It's Lord Magicus, and you guys know what time it is. It's time for some modern Merfolk. No, we're not playing fake fishes this time. We're playing real fishes. So, hope everybody had a happy feaster yesterday. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. uh, yeah, I was gonna stream yesterday night, but by the time I got home, I was way too exhausted, so I had to move it to today. So. We are making up for the holiday, so it's okay. We got our modern merfolk going on, so let's start by getting our deck from mana traders. That seems like a good first step. I would like this deck list, please. And if you are watching the replays of this, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up and leave some comments. I really appreciate that. Um, that that is all the support I ask for. And if you feel really motivated, you could even subscribe to the YouTube channel too. I'm just super ecstatic about that. I'm almost at 600 subscribers, so that would be really cool. We're slowly creeping our way up. Enjoying that a lot. So thanks everybody who has been following me. Uh, yeah, and I am willing to do a variety of content in Magic, so I mostly play Merfolk stuff, but sometimes we play other things. And if there's other stuff that you're interested in seeing me play, you should mention it in the comments because there's a very reasonable chance that I will read it and say, okay, we'll do this for a week. Or if you just want me to only play Merfolk, then I guess you can just say that too. How do we do this? Ready? Yeah, like that. Okay. Perfect. Get our deck list here. You can already see they mismatch stuff, so fun. Mana Traders does not like giving me nice match sets of cards. It's disappointing, but that's just how life is. Alright. Alright, set up our deck here. Actual fish this time. Yeah. Fishies. Okay. We have got us a deck. Yeah, that looks nice here. Alright, so I mean this is essentially what I've been playing, so not really different. I'm gonna continue to test the Phantasmal Image. I want to see if this, because we haven't really gotten a good feel on whether this card is good or bad yet. So, I'm gonna continue to jam it until I decide that. Yeah. So the main deck we're not really changing. I am gonna tweak the sideboard a little bit. In that, you see, I have cut one of the Force of Negations to put one more mana leak in. Dark Merfolk, hello, I see you there. Yeah, so instead of playing, we still have 6 counter spells now, but now instead of 4 forces and 2 mana leaks, I'm going to try 3 and 3. Because I think there will be some matches where mana leak is going to be a little bit better, like probably versus like the Rhinos deck and like the Elementals deck. I think the mana leak is actually going to be a little bit better because it can deal with the actual elementals. It can also counter Elishnorn and like Omnath. It still hits like Teferi, so we need some forces to be able to counter like Ren and 6, but do what we got to. And I mean, Subtlety's still fine against them, but Mana Leak is one of the it's one of the few cards we have that's like actually like a solid answer to them playing stuff. So it counters all the creatures, and Subtlety sort of does that, but not really. I like having better counter spells for that stuff. Um, yeah, Subtlety is just more like a remand sort of effect, whereas Mana Leak is actually going to deal with the problem. And we do have Hexcatcher that's helping us a little bit with the stuff that Force of Negation would normally counter. So, Mana Leak is still going to hit a lot of it. Still counter stuff like, Karn and Worm. But it can also hit like the Worm Coil and like, Ulamog against Tron, where, just thinking about matches where like the Force of Negation's good, like most of them are going to be ones where Mana Leak is also quite fine. So, hoping that there's not going to be a huge difference between them. Yes, and we've got Contra here because Contra always likes to be here for the 5-0 because we know that that's how this night's going to go, right? Everybody feels it. We must have it. I could really use a win. So, yeah, other than that, Chalice I think is perfectly fine. Um, the 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 best deck in the format by a large margin is still Izzet Murktide, so having a sideboard card for the single most, played deck in the format seems reasonable. Even if the matchup is still fine without it, I would rather make sure that we are winning the biggest matchup in the format, so Chalice will help us do that. Chalice on 1 is extremely potent against that deck, but also is really good against like Rhinos and Living End, so putting it on 0 there is great. And I'm still going to test the explosives here. Yeah, just because I need something for like Hammer Time, and I think this is still probably my best bet. We don't have a lot of stuff that's like super amazing against them, but this is what's going to have to do. Putting it on 1 is really good. Sometimes 0 is okay, but I think normally versus them we want it on 1, so. But I mean, the rest of the cards kind of do their job, so I don't really want to mess with the rest of it too much. Alright, let's go and take this into the league. Here, I'll put the chat back up. There we go. Yeah, no more pauper fishes. I know, you want the real thing, we got the real thing. It was April Fool's Day, and you know that I had to do something. Because I have done something like every year since I started doing this, so. I think the first year we did, what, Merfolk in MS Paint? That was kind of interesting. This is, I guess, an okay hand. It's not, like, particularly amazing. We're on the draw. I don't really like it a whole lot, but I will keep it. If this is versus Murktide, then this might actually be okay. That actually is not bad either. I think we're still going to lead off on Island, though. It's possible they might Spell Pierce this Aether Vial, so we need to be prepared for that. Okay, sure. But they're going to probably play like Ledger Shredder this turn, and I really want to Dismember it. It's also possible they could be holding back like Dash Ragavan, but I think Ledger Shredder is more likely. Channeler? Oh, that's not great. Alright, well, this is, I think, where we have to kind of take a chance and just hope that they don't have... well, it's real tempting to go after this red mana with this Tide Shaper, but it's too early in the game for that, I think. Alright, probably we want to just jam Dockhand here. I don't think that there's any realistic possibility that we're going to attack with Mutavault next turn. So, I guess Island is fine, because there is some world in which I may choose to play like Lord of Atlantis plus Tide Shaper without kicking it or something like that. Alright. They probably are holding up like Consider. I'm hoping it's not another Spell Pierce. Okay, sure. Well, Thought Scour is a little bit scarier. Okay, so they put it... Oh, well, they binned an Unholy Heat. Alright, well, we might see Murktide real quickly here. That is scary. Alright. So, yeah, Murktide is pretty much the reason why we might be jamming both of these. That's certainly a thing that can happen. But if we can find, like, Harbinger of the Tides, that would be very helpful. If they're just going Expressive Iteration, then we're probably in not too terrible a shape. And if they don't play another red land, then I will Tide Shaper this thing. Okay, they have a Scalding Tarn, so I don't really need to worry about trying to mana screw them. Unless they get super greedy and get it like an island here. No, they got a mountain because they're going to kill this thing. Alright. Another Channeler? Okay, well that, I mean... Alright, that's rough. That means their graveyard is going to be full forever. Well, we do have the Island Walk, and we can jam these right now. Trickster is pretty good. Um, I think we're just playing both Lord and Tide Shaper here, though. So we got to start racing them. So we get in with the Tide Shaper. I mean, it is kind of nice that they've been 2 removal spells already. They still probably have 1 or 2 in their hand, but it does make the likelihood that they're going to be holding 2 in their hand a lot less. So drawing like another Lord is not terrible at all, because it means that these two will, if I draw another Lord, these two will almost definitely get through, because it is super unlikely they're going to have like 2 bolts here. But we probably need to keep the Trickster back because of Murktide, because I'm sure that's coming soon. Underworld Breach. Oh fuck me. All right. Well, I don't have anything I can do about this. They're playing Breach. This card is like a fucking Yawgmoth's Will. So, all right, now they can. Yeah, they Breach is a way they can use two Unholy Heats. That sucks. Yeah. There's nothing I can do about that. Like Underworld Breach is like, this is a card that like realistically should never have been printed, because it is literally like one of the most, it's a red version of one of the most broken spells that has ever been printed in Magic's history, which is Yawgmoth's Will. And it's already been banned in Legacy and Pioneer, and I guarantee at some point it is going to find its day in Modern. So, and it's because exactly like this, where they're not even playing it with like combos anymore. Like a lot of decks are now just adopting Breach as a value card, and that is that is a clear sign that, you know, this is a problem card in my opinion. A lot of times you can just say like draw 3 or 4 on it. So Ragavan also helps with that a lot too. Look at this, like a fucking Mishra's Bauble with like Channeler, and they're going like, how many cards are they gonna draw next turn because of this? It's absolutely fucking absurd. Like they might actually go up. They'll have like 7 cards in hand at this point, and there's nothing I can really do about it. Yeah. They sacrifice this, and now on my turn they hit. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they're gonna they are drawing 2. I guess they could have played it again, but they chose not to. I guess maybe they want to keep stuff for Delirium. Alright, well, we have no choice but to race now, and they kept 1 heat there, which means like if they have another breach, then yeah, they can just kill off our creatures again. I'm a lot less confident now because they're up to 6 cards. Like, this is the problem. Yeah, they could have been at 7 if they wanted to. We are down at 1 card, and it only takes like a single bolt from them, and then we're dead. So let's see. Up there is the Underworld breach. Shocking. They found a second one. This is also why I think we need Chalice, because like this is absolutely, there's no way that we're like, yeah, we need them not to be playing like a million cards a turn. Yeah, they're gonna bolt my board away here. I am not gonna be able to like outvalue this here. Yeah. Goodbye. They can Unholy Heat away this one too. Or they can just choose to draw a card with Bobble. Or just play like a Murktide. Like, that's also quite fine if they do that, so I'm not realistically beating a Murktide here. They went for Unholy Heat. Okay. Oh, a Ragavan? That's not really much better. Uh, I think I have to try to eat the Dragon's Rage Channeler. No, it is absolutely disgusting because this card is like one of the main reasons that no, they did not show us Gigantha. Oh, monster, you missed us getting double Underworld breached. That's definitely not what's up. I'm just hoping Ragavan hits a land. They found a Phantasmal Image. Actually, this is not a bad card for them to play. I would definitely play it and, like, copy Mutavault with it. Yeah. However, this is going to go well for me, I think. We get to blow up the Mutavault and then attack with this one. And as long as they don't find another fucking Underworld breach, maybe we could theoretically win this race. Alright. It is incredible that we have hung in here as long as we have. So let's see, there's a bolt, an unholy heat, here's a heat, there's another bolt. So they don't have a lot of removal left. I think I'm actually supposed to take this and just gamble, because if I draw a Lord, I can just kill them. And I need them to just flip like something useless. Oh, Master of the Pearl Trident is not great, because that's the top deck we needed. But I guess if we find another Lord, like, we could still get there. They have Grape Shot. They're playing a fucking Storm combo in this deck. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's also possible they have another Ragavan, too. I was just playing to try to find Island Walk to actually win. Okay, well, we're dead here. We're not beating this. They have fucking Grape Shot to play, like, and just style on you with the Underworld Breach. Like, maybe it could just be, like, actual Breach and not Murktide, I guess. So that's... I don't know, like... that has to be it, right? Yeah. We definitely want the counter spells for this. Alright. Phantasmal Image, no, we don't need this card. We do want Dismember. Well, yeah, I think we want Chalice of the Void. Dockhand, I don't think I need that. Harbinger, well, okay, if it's just like actual Breach, then we don't need Harbinger, but if they are playing Murktide, then we probably do need Harbinger, so that's not entirely clear what we're on here. They could have just not shown the Gigantha. Like, you know, we have like the other option is like, I don't like taking Trickster out because I think Trickster is useful, but maybe it's hard to say, but like it's possible that Mana Leak is supposed to not be. It's I don't know. We don't have a lot of good choices to side stuff out. We need to take out 3 more cards, and like I feel like we either take out the Mana Leaks or the Harbingers, but this is a real gamble on which version of the deck we're actually playing. So Underworld Breach has already been banned in 2 formats. It's like literally Red Yawgmoth's Will. It is very much a bannable card. The question is not whether it's bannable. The question is how the hell does Wizards of the Coast maintain maintain their little Jenga tower, because Modern is like a complete fucking disaster in my opinion. It's just built on like really really shaky card after really really shaky card, and by the metrics it is not a healthy format, but they can't risk removing a card because it will just make it like 10 times worse. So yeah, that's I think the reason that we haven't seen anything banned, because they're so afraid of like what's going to happen if they remove one of those Jenga blocks, and all hell will break loose. Fuck. All right. Oh god, what are we doing with this? All right, I'm taking out Harbinger. That might be the wrong way to go, but we're gonna try. Uh, we get to play the Vial before they do anything, and we have a Dismember for Ragavan. I'm willing to try this. This is a one-land hand where I feel like it's okay. Yeah, look, there's Ragavan. I'm not worried about this at all. Definitely going to Dismember the living crap out of him. Oh, that's even better. Hmm. I will definitely just Violin Tide Shaper. Not even a concern. Dragon's Rage Channeler is never blocking this thing, but yeah, I mean, this is another like Channeler is not really a reasonable Magic card either. But what are you gonna do? Like, this is where we are at here. All right. I don't think that there's any chance in hell that they're blocking this. I don't feel like putting the Hexcatcher in just yet. Yeah, they know better. All right. Actually, here, so the interesting thing is I can I don't have to put Hexcatcher in right now. I'm gonna tick both of these up. Neat. Again, I don't think that there's any chance in hell that they're blocking, so and if at some point they try to unholy heat Svyelun, we can just put in Hexcatcher to protect it. So that's the plan. They're going to abrade my Aether Vial. Sure. Okay. I don't. That's fine. I don't really need to worry about it, I guess. I would have definitely used it to kill one of my actual creatures. So let them surveil first, and now this is why we sandbag this. Because now it's indestructible, and this unholy heat is going to do nothing. The only thing we have to be worried about is them playing a fucking Breach. Okay, well, I can't block that. If they play Breach, I'm gonna have to like throw creatures away to counter it. So I need Svyelun to live. Okay, that's a good sign. Alright, Mutavault's great. Let's play that because there's no land I'm gonna play over that. We just attack with everything here. We have Mana Leak up here too, which is nice. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I can't possibly imagine that it's gonna be relevant. Subtlety? No. Well, right now we're winning the race. As long as we can just keep Breach from resolving, we're probably okay. They just gave up. Okay, good. This leads me to believe that, yeah, so they have Subtlety in this deck. They might have, I don't know, like, yeah, they might have Murktide, but it feels like if, I don't know, if I had Murktide, I might not, I don't know if I would concede. No, well, I guess, like, I don't know, it's so hard to tell. Like, they definitely have, yeah, they have the Mark, maybe. I don't know, Counterspell, maybe. We know they have Subtlety. Okay, so that, yeah, that was kind of out of left field, so I don't know. Because, yeah, otherwise they would have Gigantha, and so we know that's not a thing. So what does that mean? Do they also have, like, Brothers War, or what, the sweepers of that sort, or something like that? Possible. I feel like this Chalice of the Void is going to be really good. They have a Braids, which means yeah, I think they're worried about Chalice. Yeah, the Abrade definitely makes me feel like it's good to have the counterspell, so. It could be, but I don't know. Like, what am I taking out for Harbinger here? Like, all of this stuff is. I guess I could take out Trickster, a little, but I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be. Is Harbinger better than Trickster? I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think I want to cut Chalice because I still think Chalice on one is too important. Because again, if this card resolves, like, I just have to protect it and I win. I think I'm just gonna run this back and just hope that it's good enough. But I don't like this because I can't actually tell what we're fighting against. Leak is worse than the draw, but like I still need it to deal with their big spells. Yeah, this hand is fine. We're gonna keep this. We have a Vial to play or a Dismember if they have Ragavan. So, all right. Or if they play any creature on turn one, I'm dismembering it. So. It's possible they'll have something like Spell Pierce for this Aether Vial. Just trying to think if there's any reality in which I want to play the Mutavault, and I don't think there is. Uh-huh. This might get Spell Pierced. No, it's okay. That's good. That actually helps a lot. So now we have stuff to do at flash speed. The Tide Shaper is now going to be a 2/2. We have the Dismember, so we have lots of stuff going for us here. Okay, that's fine. They don't have a creature yet because I think if they did, they would have played it first. Okay. I don't know. See, I feel like if they're more on the Breach plan, like if they're bringing in a Braid, then there's some chance they might because they know we have Dismembers. They've seen the Mana Leak. They know about the Vial. Like there's definitely I think that normally it's not a good idea, but I think that at this point in this match, they've seen enough cards to think that there's some value to having Pierce, so have a few minutes before bedtime. All right, well, we're trying to figure out what to do against it's red blue, but we're not sure if this is like the or like a Murktide deck or what's going on. So, but they are playing Underworld Breach, and yeah, it is very scary, and I don't like that. Yeah, play creatures and win is kind of what we have to do here. But I feel like we're in a reasonably good spot. Ledger Shredder is fine. Okay. Why would you do this, opponent? They discarded a breach. Okay, well, they're gonna find. They are fucking around, and now they're gonna find out. All right, we take this up. Can dismember this Ledger Shredder. I feel like I think I have to play the Otawara here. Because I want to use the Mutavault to dismember this thing, so I can also play like Master the Pearl Trident and then potentially keep up another Merfolk in here. Which I will probably not play the one off the vial just yet. Yeah. But I think that I want to play Master the Pearl Trident right now. Okay, if they're gonna do nothing here, alright, let's see how this is gonna go. Okay. Well, they have 4 cards and they have done nothing, so I feel like that means we're in good shape. Yeah, we're definitely going to play this Tide Shaper so we have extra counter effects. They might have Fury. But I don't know, like, it's possible, I guess. But I think that we're just trying to kill them. They can play the Subtlety, that's fine. Yeah, Subtlety is not really a concern for me. Let's see. Are they just like dead? This is gonna be 3. This right now is 4. This will be 5. This will be 5. So they're gonna go to 1. Do I care about this Tide Shaper? I don't feel like I do. I don't think that it matters where I put this thing. I can even attack with the Master of the Pearl Trident just to get rid of the Subtlety. Sure. Yeah, they have to chump block it. So, like, we have a huge board and they're, like, fucked. And now the Mutavault is threatening lethal. Like, I don't think that there's anything they can do here. I will just sacrifice all the creatures to counter, like, basically any important spell. So, I don't think there's anything they got. The only game they stole was because of this double breach. Alright, sure, you can do that. That's not a relevant spell here. You have 2 mana, you are not resolving anything that matters. Now, engineered explosives at this point doesn't matter, so go ahead, surveil. Surveil 1, draw your card. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, alright, we won the match. Despite the ridiculous pile of nonsense, we still managed to pull through. And we didn't even use Chalice, so there we go. Subtlety on Tideshaper. I mean, I sort of see the value in what they're trying to do because, like, they want to try to get us when we're flashing in, like, Hexcatcher, or maybe they want to try to keep Islands Walk off the board. Like, I get it a little bit, but we also have Aether Vial, so it doesn't really seem like it matters. Yeah, the Subtlety also makes me question whether this is actually a Breach deck or not. Or, I mean, like, I don't feel like it's the combo version. It feels more like it's a Murktide deck. I would, on my chart, based on what I saw, I would probably lump it more towards Murktide than, like, Breach. But I don't know, that's close. I don't know, I have to go and check. I might have criteria that if it plays Underworld Breach, it goes in the other one, but it's not clear to me. Okay, we are on the draw here. We have nothing to do, like, on the draw, but, like, we have cards that do things, so I guess we have to keep it. Just, it sucks on the draw. Generic Ragavan. Okay. Marsh Flats. Blood Crypt, so we're getting scammed for sure, right? No. Yeah, this looks like this... Or this is either, like, a Mardu deck, or this could be, like, yeah, we're gonna get hit with Ragavan, sadly. But definitely, like, Grief and Fury are cards to be concerned about here. It's probably just Scam. The Dismember is not going to help them this turn. Though if they Grief me right here, that would suck ass. Voidwalker is not that bad. Never mind. They're just gonna fucking go full hog and just kill me. They got everything. This is happening. This is definitely happening. No, they definitely can, because our hand is not going to be full of gas anymore. Our opponent has 9 power on the board and just, like, double thought seized us, so. Alright, I guess I have to use the Trickster to tap the Grief down and then try to block Ragavan. Bouncing Grief? I don't know if that's a good idea this turn. No, I can't bounce it. I don't have Harbinger. I can only... Yeah, I have to, like, tap it with Trickster and hope that Svyelun can help us. So... But we're on the clock versus this Voidwalker, so... It's... We are in a lot of trouble, especially if they have, like, another, like, Undying spell. They bring back, like, Ragavan with it. That's gonna suck. I have to do something about this because, like, we are getting murdered by this board at the moment. Yeah, I can't afford to, like, take the damage from this, so just hope. Yeah, okay, so that's not a thing. Maybe they have another land in their hand. If it's like Season Pyro, we might actually just lose. Fuck. God damn it. We're so screwed. Why? Why is... I can't... I'm taking 7 damage this turn. Like, fuck. Even playing playing Svyelun is not actually, like, saving us. We're taking 7, and then... I think we are 100% out of this. There's no way that I can deal with both of these cards. It's not gonna happen. There's I have to block this so that I don't die in 2 turns to their unblockable stuff at the moment. Sure, go ahead. Take whatever you want. They took the Force. That has to be a bad sign. What could they possibly have where taking... Are they going to cast the Dismember or the Fatal Push? Okay, yeah, then like... Okay, sure. Alright, yep. Goodbye, Fatal. Yeah, that's yeah, they had the Fatal Push, that's right, so... Wait, what are they casting with this? Are they casting my own Trickster? Okay, I guess. Alright, well, look, there's no way. We're dead. We're so fucked. Ugh! The existence of Scam is one of the primary reasons I think Force of Will belongs in Modern. Because I don't think that decks that play like 0 mana spells in turn 1, like, there should be cards that like actually counter them for real. They sacked it to turn on Fatal Push, that makes sense. Well, we definitely want Mana Leak. I'm not really sold on Force of Negation. Yeah, I think Spreading Seas is definitely going to be better here. Subtlety is probably fine. Yeah, the 1-drops are not terribly great. You know, I mean, Monkey is kind of a concern. Alright, well, we still have to cut 3 cards here. I actually think we should keep the Phantasmal Images. We can cut the 2 Shapers, and we have to at least cut 1 more card. I don't know, like... Yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in the 1-drops. I guess we can cut 1 Aether Vial, because this is definitely a match where if they grief you, Vial gets a lot worse, so... I can see that. I can live with this. We're at 60 already, so... sure, I guess we're keeping this. It's a hand that plays spells. That's all we can reasonably ask for. I think the thing with Scam, too, is, like, it's also a deck that's, like, ridiculously demoralizing, because it's not quite as explosive as, like, Legacy's Reanimator, but at the same time, it's, what was I gonna say? It has a much better, like, mid-range plan if it fails, so... But it's sort of like, it fits into those kind of vibes. Okay. Guess that I should... I mean, none of these are, like, great options. I feel like anything that I play is just going to get Fatal Pushed. So, maybe I'm going to... Yeah, Yeah... This is very likely to die, but if we don't get griefed, then maybe there's some hope for this. Yeah, sure. That was inevitable. I just need them not to, like, hit something relevant, so... This is also part of the cool strategy of cutting the 1-drops means they have less stuff they can do with the Ragavan. The image is not going to help them here because it can only copy Ragavan, and they definitely don't want to do that, so... Alright. Fury is definitely possible. I am aware. Yes. So I think what I'm going to do is probably just... I will just flash in the Hexcatcher at the end of their turn and just try to Harbinger this thing. So I won't put 2 creatures into play this turn. So yeah, we just pass. And then hopefully try to jam the 2 lords in on top of it to keep them protected from Fury. So let the Ragavan attack, and then use the Harbinger to bounce it, and then end step we can jam Hexcatcher. If we draw Svyelun, that would be pretty baller. It's possible they might just hardcast Grief. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Oh my god. God, I really want to deal. I want to counter this so badly. This card is such a fucking beating. It is not good. We need like a Dismember super badly, or what that's gonna fuck us. I am not going to tick this up. There's Svyelun. Okay, so I guess we have to jam Svyelun. It's our protection right now. Okay. So the Harbinger can go up to a 4/4. I guess they could double block it. If we attack with the board, like, the Hexcatcher is definitely going to die. Probably to this token, but... Harbinger they might trade 2 for 1, but I guess that's okay. Yeah, okay. Like this is about this is fine, I guess. Because it's going to deal 4 to it no matter what, so yeah, it's a fine trade. Um the question is, how do I like want to deal with Fury here? I guess I just... They have removal of some sort. Yeah, I think I need to wait in the Lord. Because right now, Fury cannot kill Svyelun on its own. And if they go after the Hexcatcher, then a Lord can potentially save it. They might scam a Fury, and if they do, then it's better that we don't play a Lord. Okay, Grief is going to take both of our cards, so... I have to put a Lord into play right now. They had Grief and the fucking Terminate. That sucks. I can't protect it no matter what I do here. Like, we can't play around Fury and the Terminate. No, we didn't punt that. Like, there's no way that we could know that that's what they were going to be doing, so... I guess we could have waited for the Malice, but it wouldn't have made a difference because they still would have had the mana to do it anyway, so... Yeah. Alright, well, we're just... They have 0 cards, so we're just in race mode right now. But they are going to flip this Fable. That's a fucking great one. Get wrecked. I expect them to have the full playset of Fury in their deck. I don't necessarily expect them to have the full playset of Terminate, so I would not change what I did here. Subtlety is not really helpful at the moment. It's going to get eaten up by this thing. I guess I can attack. If I attack with everything, they have to block with something, right? So they might block here, and then I guess this is fine. No matter, like, they can only kill one creature here, so we just attack. No, so I think it's safe to attack with the, or no, they could trade the Hexcatcher with the Reflection. If I attack with the Master and the Lord, then they can trade with one of them. Yeah, this seems fine. Well, if I don't know, like they have one card in here. That's if it's another Feign Death, it's gonna be so bad. But all right, we have to do this. Don't be another Feign Death. All right, nope. Okay. But we are super vulnerable to like Fury now. But at least we get to keep Subtlety in our hand, so there's some possibility. Like I might actually tick Vial up to 4 here just so that I can get this in play. Because now, at least if they Fury my board, I have a way to try to win the game. Yeah, see, they have to block here, or otherwise they're dead. That's also fantastic. Okay. We just attack with Lord, right? Force them to block. I mean, we could have... There's some possibility that, like, depending on how the last turn worked out, we might have needed Violin 2 in order to dodge them, using Reflection to grief us on our draw step, so that's what I was thinking about, not ticking it up. It really depended on what was, like, in their hand. We could have been in a situation where, like, they actually could have tried to lock us out of the game from drawing cards, so Vial would have kept us in it on 2, hitting most of the cards in our deck. But I think they are just dead here, yeah. Like, we just Subtlety this, and now we win. Here we go. Fuck, that was rough. Okay. I don't think we're making any changes here on the draw. Like, I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to run with this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm fine with, yeah, like none of this stuff really, I don't know, I don't really care for it that much. I think this is all better. Scam is tough. Like, if you go, I feel like we can go 50-50 with this deck, but it's really hard. Because it's just as much about, like, how good their opening hand is as it is, like, how good whatever you're doing is. Like, I feel like this is sort of okay, but I don't know. I'm not super, like, and depending on what hand they have, like, this might be fine, depending upon what... Yeah, if they have, like, a mediocre hand, this is probably okay, but if they have, like, a really good hand, then we're probably fucked, so... Okay, well, it looks like maybe we're okay, because that is not a very strong start for them. Harbinger is sort of fine, because it gives us an extra card if we want to use Subtlety. They're doing nothing on turn 2. Okay, now we're like... Alright, now we are in very, very winning position here. Alright. I feel like I want to just pass here. I think that we want to just use the Mana Leak this turn. We're not really in a hurry to do anything, because they... Yeah, I agree. I think we're in a position where we just pass. Like, there's no rush at this point. Let's get value out of our Mana Leak. If yeah, I agree with that assessment. I feel like Seasoned Pyromancer is a very likely play in their part. So if I can nail it with Mana Leak, that would be the tits. But it looks like maybe they just have a bunch of removal in their hand and they're hoping that we play creatures right now to just try to use it. So I am inclined to not let them do that if I can. Get them to tap out first. Here we go. I am definitely countering this. Fuck this card. This will also improve their hand the same way that they would use for Pyro, so. Alright, Svyelun, your time has come. Yeah, absolutely slam Svyelun. There's no... We will definitely protect it with Subtlety if they try to go for, like, Fury. Or if they hardcast Grief, for that matter, I would probably... I can't do anything about that. Yeah, Fatal Push is Fatal Push. It's whatever. Sure, they have a second Fable, whatever. Only so much you can do about this. Yeah, definitely play land pass. Are we letting this token attack us? Is that a thing that's happening? I feel like we have to. We'll just bounce it with Harbinger, but they're going to get the treasure off of it, so... They're just playing a bunch of lands. They're not actually doing anything, so... That is great. Feel like we're in the same scenario where we just want to hold up Subtlety here. We'll just go in with the Harbinger. I feel like they're trying to get maximum value out of elementals. They want to hardcast them, and I think I want to play... I want to wait for them to, like, actually, like, tap out with creatures and Subtlety it. But you have to be very careful, though, because of this stupid reflection. Yeah, look. Fuck this nonsense. So their plan is they want to try to blink the grief. This is what I was talking about. Like, they definitely want to do this. Otawara might have to bounce this thing, too. I can also... Oh, the fucking fantastic. Oh, this is great. Alright, This is great. They put Grief on top of the library, so you know for a fact they're going to go for it again next turn. I can play the Otawara. I can play, like, the Master of the Pearl Trident, or even hold up the Trickster and then just Subtlety the Grief again. Yeah, this is definitely play Otawara territory. They have 3 cards in hand, though they might have, like, a removal spell. So I feel like the safest thing... They have, what, treasure token in this? They could have, like, Terminate. I think playing Master of the Pearl Trident and then holding up Subtlety is the way to go here. Yeah, they're not blocking because they really want to get that sweet Grief tech going on. They are evoking it this time. Second Subtlety was pretty clutch. They have Fury. Oh no! They were sandbagging it the whole time. We know that they had to have had it in their hand because they just drew the Grief again. And now they can use the stupid reflection to kill off at least one more of these. Fuck me. No, we don't win. They were sandbagging Fury the whole time. This is not a win. Okay, well, that might change the calculus a little bit. All right. Okay. This is the best. All right. So where did they put the grief? That matters. So they cast it for the evoke cost subtlety. They put the bottom of the library. Okay. So image. I think we just kill the fury, right? Like that's got to be the play, and then just tap down this thing, and then it's probably gonna be the game. Yeah, we can do everything here. So. Okay. Sure. Attack for 5. That was... Alright, Phantasmal Image has definitely earned its spot in the deck. That was such an insanely lucky top deck on our part, though. Like, holy crap. Like, so amazing. Alright, they have another Fury. So... Fury's gonna kill off these two things. Well, they don't... I guess I could tap this, but... I can't actually beat the Fury, though. That's the problem. So the question is, do I... They drew another Fury off the top. So they have one card in that... I guarantee they drew this Fury. There's no way that they had two in their hand this whole time. We draw a Lord... We don't have Island Walk. A Lord's not going to do it. They are going to kill off Fury and Subtlety here, so the only thing I'm going to have here is Mutavault and Trickster. But the question is, if they are holding a land right now, then if they have, like, say, a swamp in their hand and they haven't played it yet, I need to play the Trickster on this thing right now. They don't have the mana. They're tapped out right now, so that's the problem. There's no way that they're going to attack. All right. Well, yeah. So they're gonna do this. There's no way, 0 chance that this is attacking. All right. Okay. So how do we like actually win this game? Yeah. No. There is a 0% chance. So Dismember could be like I think Dismember off the top would help. Do we? Yeah, we still have Harbingers, right? Yeah, we have Harbingers, so if we tap this thing, we can definitely bounce it. We're only gonna put the problem is we're only gonna deal 4 to them, so I guess technically spreading Season to a Lord would win. If I tap the Fury, then that means a Lord forces them to block with Reflection. So the problem is if I don't know, like they can't, yeah, they're gonna kill me if I don't, right? Yeah, I have to do this now, and I think I have to tap the Fury down because then if I attack with both of these, they have to block with this because if I have a Lord, then they're dead. And I can also threaten a Flash Lord, so they might have to block if I'm just bluffing a card in my hand because that could just kill them on the spot. So upkeeping the reflection is not going to do anything. Like we have to make our move here. We are very dependent on how we draw here in this turn, so. Okay, well, here we go. So now we play the Lord and attack, and they are forced to just chump block with this thing. Here we go. Master the Pearl Trident keeps us in this game. And then next turn we threaten to kill them. So again, we have drawn incredibly well here to like keep up with this. The tunneling cat's getting mad. They're like, why is this taking 3 minutes? Alright, they have 2 cards in hand. They are going to block with 1, so we just... Alright, there we go. Yeah, like, there's no... Like, they could try to have 2 removals. I mean, it's possible they could, but... We'll see. Does this going to come across? Block. They're just saying play faster. Okay, well, the game is over, so like either you win or you lose like right now. So what is it? For the they're solving so hard. For the love of fucking God, there's sure thing, opponent. There we go. There we go. Good game. There we go. Fuck. That was incredibly tough to like get through here. It took a lot. Like, let's be real. Like, look at our graveyard from this. Our graveyard is stocked with pure fucking gas. Just that we kept ripping here to keep up with this nonsense. Though, to be fair, they did go through 2 Fables and then 2 Furies, so that's not exactly nothing. We had a lot to fight through, but I think yeah, the 2 subtleties, the image, and then the Lord off the top was like absolutely fantastic. So there we go. That match is really scary, and like it very easily can flip the other way. You miss like a single draw and you're dead. So that happens. All right, here we go. Contra, I'm trying my best here. We're going for this. So we're 2-0 right now. We're gonna be on the play here. God. I think I have to keep this, but I don't really like it. See, this is like what I hate about like when our hand is like full of double blue stuff and Mutavault is threatening to fuck us. So we can go Tideshaper into Hexcatcher and then pray that we have either something else to cast or another island by then, but it's really, really close. It is, yeah, it is very, very close. So we don't know what we're up against here. It could be anything. So, like, if this is, like, Living End, this hand actually is probably really good, because of the Hexcatcher. If it's, like, Hammer Time, it's probably really bad. Alright. 3 double blue, that's asking for so much. So we only have 2 draws in order to find this island. I don't like this. I think I'm mulliganing this. I wouldn't blame somebody for keeping that, but I don't feel like I want to. So this is a much, much better hand. We can keep this easily. We mulliganed appropriately. We got an appropriate 6. It looks like maybe we're up against Murktide again. There's Channeler. All right. Yay, Bobble! All right. The Ragavan goes to the graveyard. I guess that's okay. I mean, we try to eat it, but like there's probably a 0% chance that's gonna happen. I don't think I've ever seen this deck not have the removal immediately, so drawing another Vial like kind of makes me inclined to play the other Vial this turn instead. I think this is going to be worth more in the end when I can double like creature them versus just playing a trickster that is like 95+% just going to eat an unholy heat, and then they're going to, yeah, nothing's going to happen to it. Yep. Oh yeah, no, like that's almost certainly what's happening. Dress down goes to the graveyard. Okay. So dress down and counterspell. So this is almost definitely like the Murktide version of this, like the more traditional one we're used to. Have they not found another land yet? I haven't played it, so. Oh god, they might not have another land. Fuck. All right. Well, they kept apparently they kept an incredibly sketchy hand here. So, all right, this is where we start ticking this stuff up. And we're definitely, I think, bouncing this thing with Harbinger here. Yeah, like it's gonna cost. Like they might draw the land off of the bauble, but this does set them back a little bit, so we may as well. Can Vial in a master, and then hopefully that's great. The other thing that helps is if they only draw like an island, then their choices are just maybe deploy. All right, well they found a fetch, so I was gonna say like their choices might have been between redeploying that or playing removal, but having a fetch means they can do both. All right, well they're definitely, yeah, they're doing that. Sure. We knew that they were gonna do this eventually, so I'm just trying to get this out of their hand. But yeah, next turn we can just sandbag two of these guys. So tick this up. And actually, I will tick this one up too, I think. Because if I draw Svyelun, I want to be able to play it. Alright, well, we have some options here. Alright, attack with this. There's no chance that they're blocking this. They would have to be a fool to block. Not gonna happen. They block it as dead. I believe in you, opponent. I know that you're smart enough not to do this. Don't take the bait. Alright, there we go. So yeah, then we'll wait for them to attack, and then we can like use Trickster and Master to block this thing. I'm actually almost inclined to counter this iteration here. So let's let them surveil first, but there's a very strong chance they don't have another land. So if I just play this Hexcatcher and just like throw this Harbinger away to this thing, I mean, it could, like, that would have, I don't know, there's strong reason to consider it, because they probably need more lands badly, so they're looking for it. So, well, they found the Scalding Time, which is kind of what I was afraid of, because now they'll be able to kill one of these things. I have to play the Master of the Pearl Trident in order to block, to guarantee that this thing dies. Uh, well, actually, if they use the removal spell, then I might just throw the Hexcatcher away. An island? What the fuck are they doing with an island? Like, okay. Well, this is fine then. You're dead. I think... Does it matter if I play the Hexcatcher or the Master first? I guess the Master is more damage. So I may as well play it. Yeah, it looks like maybe it was a misclick because they just rage quit, so... Alright, I'll take it. Alright, so we want Chalice of the Void for this. And now, assuming that this isn't like a breach version of this deck, we don't need Force of Negation. And this is also not a Phantasmal Image match, so we can bring in other stuff if we want. Either a Subtlety or like Mana Leak or both considerations. Probably Subtlety is better. We can bring in one of these. And like this leaves us a pretty reasonable 60. There's also some value to engineered explosives as well, because if we hit it on one, it blows up a lot of their creatures. So, like, this is an option. Yeah, like, our three options are, like, I think one of these three cards for card number 60. So, Ragavan, and, yeah, like, we do have a lot of one-drops ourselves, that's true. The other thing is, like, they probably are going to bring in EE themselves. But, I mean, Mana Leak is fine, and I think Subtlety is also fine. We could try the surprise Mana Leak. The Leak I think the Leak is okay. Like, I don't think there's a huge difference between these. Subtlety is probably a little bit better against Murktide. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a wild card, so we can do whatever the hell we want. Oh, God. Yeah, no, we're definitely keeping this one. Yeah. Alright, so we have to choose between either Dockhand or Tideshaper. One of these two creatures is definitely going to die on turn one. Oh no, but fuck, we have two Tideshapers. Fuck, alright, well, yeah, we're gonna have to choose between some of these things. But I think we have to keep it because we have the Chalice, right? Yeah, we'll draw a Cavern, like, it'll be fine, yeah, okay. Well, we drew a 2-drop. That definitely improves this hand by a fair bit, so... I'm running the full playset of Cavern of Souls, so... They have a Scalding Tarn here, which means Tideshaper will definitely be a 2-2, so I think we can afford to play it. I think if they played, the what is it, the Spire Bluff, then I might have considered Rishadan. But as soon as they fetch with Scalding Tarn, this thing gets bigger, so... Interesting. And I guess because they didn't start with a 1-drop, this means they're very likely on a Shredder hand, which means that Chalice is probably going to resolve. That's my take on this. Ragavan? Okay. What the fuck are they doing here? Okay, so, real talk. I don't know what they're up to right now, but I almost kind of feel like we should just jam 2 more Tideshapers. Because it's likely they're only playing like 1 more removal spell. Game 1, they probably have Pierce. Game 2, I don't think they would have had it because I don't think they saw enough. So I think we're just attacking with our Tideshaper and then playing 2 more. I might even consider playing a Dockhand just to fuck with their mana, but no, it's got to be like the Tideshapers, right? Like that's... Which one's better? Because I guess I could like block with this one. Like they might not even attack into these things. All right, we'll do this. And if we draw our 3rd land, then we get to deploy this plus Chalice. Spell Snare. It's definitely possible they have Spell Snare. That's a good call. They do bring that card in, so for sure that's a consideration. Okay. I don't think that really achieved anything, opponent. I think they're holding up actual counterspell right now. So how do we want to do this? Yeah, their red land is pretty painful. I feel like maybe we should just attack with these two and then play Dockhand. So that seems good to me. I want to wait until... So they're playing a bolt. Alright, well, they still probably have the snare. Yeah. They have to be careful. Like, at any point, like, they don't have a third land, right? We didn't draw a third land, and they didn't draw a third land, so... And it's very possible they're sitting on, like, Ledger Shredder or something that they'd have to tap out to actually play. Expressive? Okay. They didn't consider, so yeah, for sure they considered. All right, they probably have snare. So they found Spire Bluff Canal here, but again, they probably can't do anything with it. So Mutavault, beautiful. Okay, this is fantastic. Look, we can turn off snare and get this Chalice on the board. Watch this shit. Tide Shaper can tap down the stupid Spire Bluff Canal. Alright, so, I guess we should attack first, see if they'll use the mana voluntarily, and then... So this is... Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set a stop at... Hold on. Nope, not in his. On my end of combat. So here, on my end of combat, I'm going to use the Dockhand to tap this thing down. So let's see if they want to use like a bolt or something on the Tide Shaper. This is one of the only times in this channel I've ever actually used the end of combat step. Sure. Tap that. That now they are successfully tapped out. Now we can jam our Chalice of the Void. So it was important to do it that way because we got through our 2 damage. So that way we were really like tempting them to actually like try to bolt our creature, so we didn't have to do that. We could have held it up for their turn. Sure, you have Shredder. That's fine. All your removal is offline. So they're conniving. Now they have to like dig for something quickly or they're screwed. They discarded the spell snare, baby! Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I love it. Okay, so, yeah, all we have to do here is we can play Master of the Pearl Trident and just attack. They can't spell snare it, so we may as well. Now, we're definitely playing the Master here. Let's kick their teeth in. So here's 5 damage they can't do anything about, and then they're, like, dead next turn if they don't find an answer, so... Rishadan Dockhand, again, pulling his weight, tapping the land down. That's fantastic. Murktide is not going to save you. I still have enough Island Walk damage to kill you. And I probably want to do this in the upkeep, right? Because they could have, like, a braid or something. So, alright, so here we go. To consider here. Well, we can find out, like, because they could have braid the Master of the Pearl Trident, but we can actually take a shot at this here. We'll do this on my upkeep. Well, no, what we can do is if we use the Dockhand to tap out the Spire Bluff Canal, then if it taps out, then we know we're fine. We can attack with the Tide Shaper and the Mutavault, and we win. So here is where we can just do this right here. Yeah, because you're also correct. It plays around Dress Down. Oh, they have the Abrade. Okay, so there we go. We had to be careful of that. And they have to burn it on the Master of the Pearl Trident. They can't use it on Chalice or they are dead, so... Alright. Alright, what do we got? That's gonna kill them next turn, so, if they are, like... We can afford to take a hit from this right now. Alright, it's again possible they could have something like Dress Down. Alright, well, they don't have Dress Down. So here it looks like they're probably dead as long if they can't counter the Master of the Pearl Trident, they are just they lose to it. So they have to actually play a land here in order to even be able to use a counter spell. But they won't be able to use a Bolt and Master here, so. No, and the reason that we wanted to do that is because of Dress Down. That's why. Because Svyelun would not stop Dress Down from taking away our Island's Walk. We could have gotten blown out that way. Doing what we did meant that if they didn't play it there, then they didn't have Dress Down, and they wouldn't be able to Abrade. So here, I think we just win, because... Actually, they could have Mystical Dispute. That is possible right here. Okay. And I can't use the Dockhand's ability right now, because I need to draw... Yeah, like, I don't have enough mana to do everything, so... Dismember is... probably... Alright, so I guess we're just hoping they don't have Mystical Dispute. That's it. If they don't have Dispute, we win. Okay, well then we win. Sweet. We win the match. Excellent. So subtlety is definitely a possibility, but there's only so much we can play around there, so... Chalice of the Void doing its job. Rishadan Dockhand also doing its job. Fantastic. Look, we're 3-0 in this league. Contra. You're here for it, right? Yeah. Don't tell me you went away, because we're doing it today. Alright, we got, what, like, a little over an hour before our other friend... Yeah, oh, there you are. I was going to say, you're starting your stream, like, pretty shortly after we're done here, so... Hopefully, if I can pick up the pace, I won't have to interfere with your stream time, since we'll have even more Merfolk after this. So we can get 2 more matches done in like an hour and 10. We'll be perfectly on track to just send everybody over to the other channel. Discarding the Spell Snare was definitely the highlight of the stream so far. That was amazing. So you could smell it that they had it, and they were just hanging on to it, and we made them just never able to use it. Alright, good night, Joe. Take it easy. The replay will be up on YouTube, so you can always go and check it out then. And make sure you hit the thumbs up when you watch the replay. Alright, come on. Let's get our 4th match in. Where are we at, MTGO? That's right. Lord Asex also puts the replays up, so if you are not awake to watch that, then you can also go and check that one out as well on the replays. Here we go. We are up on the draw for this one. What's our hand look like? Come on, big money, no whammies, no whammies. They choose to play first. Yep, that makes sense. This is fine, I think, right? Yeah, we have a nice curve and we have protection from stuff. I think this is an easy keep. We're up against Gigantha, so this might be Tron, and if it's Tron, then Dockhand is a really great card, and so is Force. This could be Breach as well, which means these cards are also probably fine. They mulled a 4? Oh, this is definitely Tron. There's like no fucking way this is not Tron mulling the 4. Which means Dockhand is going to be very strong here. Urza's mine! How did I know that? Fun fact, Tron is the only deck in which I've won a match by mulling to 4 and then mulling to 3 in the other game that I won. So, winning 2 games with a total of 7 cards and both like combined from the starting hands. Hexcatcher is also a great pickup. Harbinger now is a very easy pitch to force. Hopefully they don't find another Tron land. They do not. That means we're in real good shape here. And let's keep them off of it. They have 2 cards left, so like the odds of them putting Tron together are very, very low. Alright, this turn I think is a good turn for Hexcatcher, and then the turn afterwards we can potentially use Dockhand to tap stuff down if things start getting out of hand. So, Merfolk. But, actually, I don't think, I guess, no, it is theoretically possible they could have something like Oblivion Stone where I actually want to counter it. I don't know if they play those in the main deck anymore, though. I don't feel like they have Oblivion Stone main. So if I play the Lord, I get an extra 1 damage in. Alright, I'm going to say that playing the Lord here is slightly better. They're very far away from being able to do anything, so let's start killing them as fast as humanly possible. And then this turn will inform kind of what we're doing from here. Oh, they found another land, so we probably do need to start tapping stuff down. The Stone Brain, okay. So can they natural rip Tron? I feel like it's definitely possible they could natural rip Tron. So I have to play this Otawara as a land. The question is, do I want to play the Hexcatcher now, or do I want to try to play the Trickster? I'll probably do this in their turn. I just have to tap the tower down just in case. But that means they would potentially have up to 5 mana. I don't think that there's anything that I have to worry about for 5. Like if they play Karn, I can just kill it before Bridge is a problem. It might just be safer not to dick around here. There we go. On the off chance that they draw the other one, let's just tap this for this turn. Yeah, like, I think, yeah, it's probably fine then, because then drawing any random land... Oh, they did draw the fucking power plant. I knew it. Tron players are the luckiest people on the face of the earth. I knew they were going to do it. Okay, so... They have Tron in play, but they can't do anything with it right now. How did I know that? They're looking for Master the Pearl Trident. Well, that is a swing and a miss. And also, That is incorrect. You definitely should be looking for Tide Shaper, because that is card number 1 that can fuck you right now. Tide Shaper is going to be the source of all of your problems at this point. Alright, so if I draw a land, I will play the Svyelun, and if I don't draw a land, yeah, we just play the Trickster, but I think we definitely have to tap this tower down. Because this will keep them at 5, so... They can look for all of my Master of the Pearl Tridents, but that was just, like, definitely the wrong card to name. Why would you not name the, like, one card that, like, takes Tron away from you? At least Spreading Seas, right? Like, people have to know that Merfolk, at least at some point, played that. Cavern of Souls means I can play Svyelun here. That's fine. Merfolk. They're at 15. Yeah. So we attack for 5 here. And then we have lethal next turn. Yeah. So we just need to not die here is basically where we're at. Okay, and then upkeep, we just tap the tower down. Make it so they can't use the mana. So here, hoping that 5 mana is not enough for them to do anything relevant. And then if they draw like a land and play Wormcoil Engine, Trickster can just tap it down and we win anyway. If they draw another like Urza's Mine or another Urza's Power Plant, that'll get them to 7 mana, which means if they play Big Karn, we can sacrifice Rishadan Dockhand and then still have 10 damage left. So the math checks out. Same thing goes if they play 4 mana Karn and try to get like Ensnaring Bridge. We can counter the Ensnaring Bridge using the Dockhand and still have the 10 damage we need to win. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we definitely want Force of Negation. Let's get rid of these Dismembers. They're not helpful whatsoever. We want Subtleties. We want Spreading Seas, and we want Mana Leaks. All of the sideboard cards are like so good here. Alright. Phantasmal Image, I don't want you. Harbinger of the Tides is probably not very good. And I think we can cut like one Svyelun. And that should be fine. I think that's... We've got like a ton of sideboard interaction to bring in, so... Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Svyelun. You could arguably cut more of them here. It's really close between this and Harbinger. Just being able to play cards lower to the ground is fine. So, we're at 60 cards right here, so I think this is a reasonable curve here. But yeah, if you have like better stuff, Svyelun is definitely cuttable like at a certain point. So as long as you're like past Dismembers and stuff. So, I think this hand is okay. They mold to 6. Subtlety seems fine. Hexcatcher is okay. Vial's fine. I guess I'm gonna keep this. They mold to 5. Okay, so the more they mold, the better this is gonna get. We need a little bit more pressure than just this, but this definitely is a good start. And if we pick up like a Force or a Mana Leak, then this gets even better. Okay. Well, they're on the play with 5 cards. Let's see what they got. Tower, Expedition Map. I can do nothing about this. Force of Negation is definitely one of the ones I was hoping to see here. So there we go. Vial. Get this started, and then go from there. So do you have a second Tron land? Yes, they do. So you're going to have Tron on turn 3. Combo decks are like mulling, yes. Alright, here's the thing. We need to avoid dying here, so the best way to go about doing that is probably... Let's see. Cavern of Souls. I think that we just have to play the Hexcatcher this turn. I would like to be able to get to the point where the Subtlety can actually be hardcast, but it's not clear if we're going to get enough time for that. I may have to pitch the Lord of Atlantis to a force, or I may have to sacrifice the Hexcatcher. If they play like Big Karn, then I think Hexcatcher sacrifices to it, and then I try to like hardcast force and then hardcast Subtlety. That's my ideal plan. Blast Zone? Oh wait, that can't possibly be. Oh, so okay. I guess that sort of makes sense. So they search for Blast Zone. They did not actually search for. Okay, well this makes this a lot better. I guess doing it in the middle of combat, I guess, I don't know. I should have probably waited till the end step. That's my bad. It's not going to matter, but I don't think that they're going to do anything relevant here. I guess they could have, like, Warping Whale, so maybe that was a mistake. Oh, look what they... Well, no, Warping Whale, like, that's an instant. They could still do that, so... Let's see if they actually are, foolish enough to pay for this. So yeah, if we played it on the end step and they had Warping Whale, they were going to use it anyway. I'm trying to think if there's any sorceries that would have mattered here. I don't think so. I don't think there's any way they could actually punish us for this, so it's okay. Another force is actually pretty good here. It means that it's a lot easier for us to pitch, or we can hardcast and then put Lord into play, and then next turn hardcast Subtlety, so... Well, there's the power plant, so they had it the whole time. Let's see what they do here, I guess. This blast zone is going to make it a little awkward, though, because it means it's going to be very hard for us to get rid of the Tron. Sure. I don't think the map is the thing I'm supposed to fight over here. If they have Ulamog, then I am going to get screwed by it, but that's pretty much how that's got to go. I can't really do much about Ulamog, so... Okay, here, well, this is interesting, because, like, I can force them to get rid of the blast zone here. The other problem is if they actually have Ulamog, like, I'm screwed no matter what if they do, so... Okay, so let's think about this. They will probably just get another Urza's Tower. So right now they are at 8 mana, so that'll put them at 11. Hitting the Blast Zone only really stops them from using Lord of Atlantis, right? Yeah, so they have the mana to both activate Blast Zone and use Expedition Map here. Yeah, none of these are great options, but I think that I'm supposed to just try to use Subtlety this turn. Yeah, they're going to use the map. I mean, they might put the counters on the Blast Zone here. So they're taking it up to 2 so they can kill off the Lord of Atlantis. That's actually pretty good for us. That means if we can survive long enough, then we can turn off Tron, hopefully. I absolutely don't want to allow that. It is also now possible that this thing might go all the way up to 4 to get rid of Subtlety. But I mean, it could just kill off Lord, though. They have a map to fix whatever mana I take away from them, so that is to be considered as well. It's not terrible, I guess. I can... The other option is I could just play Tide Shaper as a 1/1, but that doesn't feel correct. They're gonna draw Karn again, and I definitely have to force it. They don't want to crack this expedition map right now, so yeah, like I don't think they want to do it this turn. It's a tough position, but I feel like I think playing Tide Shaper and not hitting one of their lands is the way to go. No, it's really hard because yeah, well, we know what just we know what they're drawing. We don't know what the other card in their hand is, so we know that they can use Blaststone to kill off the Lord. So I guess if we put the Tide Shaper in play, it means that even if they kill off the Lord, I can always vial this one in to continue damaging them. So I think that's where we're at. Trying to diversify my curve of threats here. Them taking up Blast Zone has actually kind of helped us a little bit because now it means that this master can come in off this vial as soon as this thing is gone. And we can probably force them to do this pretty soon because, yeah, we're going to counter the Karn. They might not have a lot of other good threats left, so... Their last card was a land, so, yep. That's not bad either. Alright. Because it means when Blast Zone goes away, then we get to trade that for another card, too. Alright. They're top decking now, so... They're, like... They might just do it to stem the bleeding a little bit, but... This is fine. They're at 6, so... And we're on we have them on a 2-turn clock. Absolutely fucking not. Get that shit out of here. Well, this turn they have to use the Blast Zone, so... So I guess if we draw another Lord, we could actually, we could win, right? Alright, cool. So here's how this is going to work. They're at 6. All we have to do is Spreading Seas the Blast Zone, which will force them to crack it and kill off this Lord so they don't die to the board right now. Then we play Lord, Violin Lord, and this becomes a 3/3 and we win. So... Yeah, this is fine. They have no choice because we have lethal on board, so they have to blow it up to get rid of the Lord here. Hey, no worries. Yeah, the reason we can't take them off of Tron is we have to worry about the blast zone. So, but it doesn't matter because now we've got them. And this will just kill them. We have 6 in here. Here we go. 4-0 in our league, baby. Contra, we're doing it, buddy. It's because you're here. You're always here for the 5-0. Gotta go big for it this time. Alright, come on. One more good match. Give us, like, Mill for the last match. That's, like, the best possible thing we could draw here. I want to play against Mill because I feel like that's my strongest matchup in the meta game at the moment, so. Just please not like elementals. I don't want to fight that. I don't think I can. Yeah, so the fish do succeed. Like, you have to play very, very tightly, though. You have to, like, really think about what you're doing with each of your cards because we don't have... Especially because, like, now a lot of the fished lists, and I am probably a reasonable part of the reason for this, like, cutting the Silvergill Adepts in the face of Ren and 6 means that there's less room to screw around with the cards that you do have. So, you have to, yeah, make use of them as best you can. You can't just afford to throw them away for nothing. So, yeah, Merfolk definitely is a deck that requires a fair bit of skill. It's not as easy as a deck like Burn, where the first, like, 85% of your wins are pretty easy, and then only, like, the last 15%. Merfolk, you have to fight for, like, every one. So, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to fight. We're fighting fish. We're like piranhas. Or, what is it? The beta fish. Yeah. We'll tear everything up. We're dangerous. Dropping kill is good tech. Yeah, it is really, though, because, like, in a world with, like, Fire and Ice, Ren and 6, and Fury, like, the 1 damage matters a lot. Yeah, the one toughness, so, yeah, we can't afford to just be having a lot of those. Hexcatcher gets a pass because we can do it at flash speed. We're up against Gigantha, which means this could be another Tron deck, and if it is, we win. They're mulliganing. We have to keep this. If this is Tron, we are fucking crushing this matchup with double Tideshaper. Alright, come on! Mull to 5! It could be, like, a Breach deck, which is probably also okay for us, but... we are on the draw. Come on, Tron. Oh, no, it's Mountain. Oh, God. Soul Skull. Oh, God, no, it's Prowess. We're fucked. Prowess is going to ruin our lives. Oh, no, not like this. Alright, play Tideshaper. We don't have a choice. We just have to play our stuff. Prowess is absolutely not a good matchup for Merfolk. Alright, make our Tideshaper a 2/2. Oh, God. We are getting bolted in the face, and we're going to take... Yeah, we're taking like 7 damage this turn, for sure. Unless they choose to kill the Tideshaper. But we absolutely are not in a position to block, so... Go bolt me in the face. I know you want to do it. It's either my face or this Tideshaper. One of the two is getting hit. So maybe Harbinger can slow it down a little bit, or maybe we just use Trickster. They don't go for it. Interesting. Okay, so what does that mean? They're choosing to hang on to a burn spell, probably because they expect us to play a Lord here. So I think what I need to do is probably Trickster down a creature this turn, and then follow it up with, like, Tideshaper plus Harbinger, and then maybe Svyelun. But again, I'm not... There's no way that I'm blocking this, so I have to attack. I have to play the Trickster this turn. I don't want them to use the mana on my turn. Well, they took the damage, so they... Alright. So here, yeah, I'm very likely to just use Trickster and, like, Soulscar Mage. Oh, Sprite Dragon. Okay, no, sure. I'm gonna let them attack me with that. No attacks! Okay, how did I know that? Okay, excellent. So here... I mean, I guess I still have to... I kind of need to, like, Trickster bounce the Soulscar Mage back to their hands, right? Alright. This is the only realistically viable thing I have. Okay. So they have not, like, crushed us yet. Oh, yes. Alright, I love it. Alright, opponent is in good spirit here. You sneaky merfolk. Alright. I should probably put the chat back up. It's probably been off for a while, hasn't it? Oops. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm okay with... I just have to attack with both. Right? Like, there's no other alternative to this. Let's take away the Soulscar Mage. Get the Tideshaper out, and then hopefully Master the Pearl Trident can just get us there. I will be very impressed if we manage to, like, beat Prowess. Prowess is usually very hard. I need them to tap out so that I can Force of Negate something and then get this Master in for victory. I will definitely pitch Svyelun to Force if I get a chance to, if they like go to tap out for stuff. Prowess game 1 of the draw is a miracle. Yes, it is. So, right now, we're just kind of banking on our opponent doing something like casting Manamorphose and then us forcing it and then just being dead. That's really where we're at. Like, any 2-mana spell with them not having a third land. Like, that's the one. That's it. That's what we're looking for here. If they don't have another land, we win the game. That Steam Vents is definitely pretty baller. Obviously, I can't block that, so I guess we're just hoping they don't have, like, double gut shot or something of that sort. Get in for 12. No Fury, yeah. Oh! Game 1! We stole Game 1! Oh my god! On the draw. Alright, Chalice of the Void. I need you so fucking badly. Oh god. Okay. This, I think, is also a match where we want the Engineered Explosives because we need it on 1. Let's take out Dockhand. Dockhand is gonna be a little slow. Probably Dismember and Phantasmal Image are cards we look at cutting as well. Image doesn't seem very good, and Dismember does not seem like what we want to be doing most of the time either, so... what else are we looking at bringing in here? Like, Mana Leak is okay. Force is also okay. None of these are, like, great, but they're fine. Yeah, alright. So yeah, he says, like, misplayed the first turn with Steam Vents and that costed the game. Island Walk is a hell of a drug. Okay. So what, yeah, alright, so we got like a minute and 40 here to figure this out. So, yeah, these 3 cards probably need to come out, and then we need to bring in other stuff. So, How do we want to do this? They probably do have, like, Fury. Tapping out against them is hard. Not impossible, though. Subtlety is also not the worst idea, either. Well, see, the thing is, they can kill you very, very quickly. Like, Dismember is super, super, super dangerous. So, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure that Dismember is the card that we want for this. But on the other hand, if he only has, like, one creature, then Dismember can be okay. Oh, no, we got more here. Played the deck for 3 years before Modern Horizons came out. Still a fan. That's right. Our opponent loves the Merfolk. Okay. So we got 33 seconds here. Yeah. 2 Dismembers. All right. We got to bring in at least one more card here then. We got to think. So Mana Leak is okay. Subtlety seems like okay. Maybe Force. Force seems like that might be okay. All right. We'll do it like this. All right. This is probably okay. So we got the vial. We got 2 vials here, so if they like try to abrade a vial or something, it's fine. They have chosen to mulligan to 6. I think I'm going to keep, because if they mulligan, that means Dismember gets a little bit better. But I probably have to use Dismember before the vial, though. If they're not going to play a creature, then we get to play the vial for free. That's great. This also could eat Spell Pierce. That's possible. Okay. They did not do anything. That's surprising. I'm assuming it's because he was holding up removal. Soul Scar. Okay. If he's on 1 land, then this is going to just be crushing. Okay. I feel way better now. Alright, so the question is, do I want to play Mutavault or the island here? It is theoretically possible that I could draw like a Tide Shaper next turn, and I'd want to play Master plus Tide Shaper plus the Lord off the Vial, so I think I have to go island. Let's get that off the board. So that might be his only creature, so... If he doesn't have any other 1-drop spells to make use of it, he does not, it looks like. This is very good for us. Now we can safely play the Mutavault, and we can play the Lord of Atlantis. I'm assuming that it means he probably has, like, Sprite Dragon and then maybe, like, Manamorphose or something to, like, follow it up with, so... Or it could just be a handful of bolts for, like, Lords. That's also very possible. He's just waiting till the end step to do it. It has to be. If it's like Unholy Heat or something, then we could Violin Master, but I don't think so. I don't think they play Heat. I think they're just on Bolt, so... Alright, well, I have to Violin the Master here. Yeah, it does look like it's probably Removal City. I need to get in as much damage as I can before the board gets filled with creatures. And it's probably reasonable. Oh, he does have Unholy Heat. Okay, so that's fine. I can't do anything about that here. Both of these vials go upstairs, so that way I can put anything I draw into play. That was not particularly a good one. Alright. Deck, we need Svyelun right now. Yeah, 8 mana sources does suck. Like, 3 creatures is not going to beat them. And again, they probably have more removal in hand, is my guess. So always no, always no. Come on, no land. All right, actually, that's pretty good. All right, let's entice him to do this. Because if he wastes it on the Mutavault, then that means the Tide Shaper might just win the game. Look, Mono. All right. All right. Well, we just got a shock in order to be able to kill the Tide Shaper. So, yep. And we are off to the races. Okay. Come on, deck. Give me one good rip. God damn it. All right. Now we're in some serious trouble here. We were so close to just shutting the door on this. Oh god. Yeah. It's all right. It's not over yet. He only found Scalding Tarn, so it's probably over. No, it's not over yet, because if we find, like, Harbinger or something, we can be really back in this, or, like, even another Lord. It's already used 3 pieces of removal, so there is that. But they play lots. So, Prismatic Ending. Yeah, going after the Tide Shaper, for sure. Jeskai, yeah, it looks like it. Prismatic Ending's pretty good removal, so. Alright, Harbinger of the Tides, I need you really badly. I thought I said always no to these things. Why is it asking me? Oh my god. Alright, well, it looks like they're probably going to take this one. We're going to have to go to game 3 and hope that Chalice can save us. And it is good to note that they have Prismatic Ending, so the Force of Negations to protect the Chalice are going to be very important. We have not, like, drawn a creature, like, or we drew, like, one Tide Shaper from, like, our opening hand here, so, yeah, that's unfortunate. I have to imagine he's got pure gas in his hand with 5 cards here. Oh god. I play 20 lands and 4 vials, yeah. So this is gonna hurt. I think that maybe if I draw Harbinger like right now, it might not be too late, but it's getting real close. I think anything less than Harbinger and we're screwed. Um I'm not gonna play the last island. I want to make him sweat. If he doesn't play a spell for some reason, then we only take 5. As soon as he plays a spell, it's over. That's not over from that, so that'll do it. Yeah, okay, you got me. Uh That was so weird. Yeah, that happens like that sometimes, I guess. Okay. No, we just have to do better. That's it. Trust in the deck. All right, let's be on the play. Come on, give us a good hand. Just for all the marbles, for the 5-0, can we get there? Oh God, please. Oh yeah, this is it. We're keeping this. This is gonna get us there. We got everything. We got the Force for the Chalice protection. We got the Harbinger to bounce the 1-drop. We are golden. This is definitely gonna get the job done. This is like an amazing hand. Like, this is a 9.9 out of 10. Absolutely stunning. Contra, you were here. All right, let's get this done. The only thing that could possibly make this better is if they don't even play a 1-drop. It is for the 5-0. You are absolutely correct. Sure, Swift Spear, that's fine. I don't really care about that at this point. We have everything we could possibly want here, so it's going to take an incredible hand from him to be able to defeat this. All right. Let's not mess this up. All right, Merfolk. This makes it a little bit easier to also defend it too, because then we can play the Harbinger. We have the Force. He's gonna like try to prismatic ending this thing, and I am definitely Force of Negating it. Just hope for no more of those. Uh, He's like, I knew you had it. All right. Yes! Oh my God! Yes, it's so good. Okay. All right. How do we go about this? So if he has another prismatic ending, he can go after the Chalice. I think I can afford to take damage from this one more turn. I can't cast Expressive Iteration right now, so my only concern right now is potentially like if he draws a land and he has another prismatic ending, and I bounce it with Harbinger right now, he can replay the Swift Spear, and that might make it a little bit harder. So it is definitely a consideration to play the other Chalice first. But I think that I'm willing to just try this right now. I want to get this. This is a good way to test the waters to see what's up in his hand. So now if he has like a Steam Vents, then he might have to play it to play like Expressive Iteration or to play the Sprite Dragon, because he's not going to be able to win with the Swift Spear as long as the Chalice is on the board. Yeah, Fiery Islet, that'll work. Yeah, so he's got to like definitely do something here. So there's Bobble. I mean, I guess I could have played this on 0, but I feel like a redundant one is it's got to be better, right? There's Iteration. Yeah, that's fine. The other thing is I can also play this Hexcatcher as well and try to go that direction. So you can't play like the ending on this thing here. He found Unholy Heat. Well, he cannot use it, so Chalice checked. Alright. That's fine. Okay, so it's got 3 mana now. So I think I want to play the Hexcatcher here. We got to attack while the board is clear. That's, I think, the plan here. I think we do have to go for it. Because now, like, if he wants to get rid of Chalice, it's going to really hurt. Now, even if he draws Ending and a land this turn, I can always sacrifice the Hexcatcher to counter it and keep Chalice alive. But he's got to dig real hard, and he's got to keep taking damage off this Islet to do so. If I draw another land, I can play both the Lord and the Chalice in one again. But I have to pressure him as fast as I can, because, like, if this goes away, like, my entire board, like, definitely could just be erased, so you gotta be very careful. And I think if I don't draw another land, then here's where I probably will just play the other Chalice. Because I gotta play around him having removal for this. That's probably fine. It does protect me from something like Sprite Dragon trying to get there. And if he uses the Islet now, then playing Lord of Atlantis will be lethal. Contra! You were here for this. Alright. We'll leave the chat up just in case he responds here. So there's the Sprite Dragon. Okay. I don't think it's going to matter. I guess it's possible that there's something like a braid, so I have to think about stuff like that. But it feels like we're in a really good spot here. Like, I don't think he can reasonably attack with this dragon. Like, there's no way. Like, that seems like suicide. So, a braid is probably the most likely thing, but I still have the Hexcatcher to counter it if necessary, so I am protected from that on my Island Walk Lord, so I could still attack with the Harbinger through this thing. But I still probably want to dismember this. I don't need to do this right now, but I definitely want to consider this at some point. Right, let's see what he's got. Going to 6. Okay, I think this means we win. Is going after the Hexcatcher. Okay. Alright, so, I think I have to let him take the Hexcatcher. Okay, so I can't kill him this turn. But I can dismember this thing now. Going to 4. Oh my god, what do you got here? No, you can't attack. There's no way. Engineered explosives for 1 is also just gravy. No, I can't cast it yet. I have to. Actually, no, I can't do that right now. No, I'd have to draw another land because I need to use the Cavern of Souls to play it. If I just play it for the blue, it'll get countered by the Chalice. But I can pay a colorless mana from the Cavern to help get this into play if necessary. So if drawing a land means I can use this for 1. Okay. He's just casting spells into the Chalice now. That's got to be good for us. Alright, opponent, what do you got? You can't use the Fiery Islet, so effectively you only have 2 mana. So what are you going to find with Iteration? It's so scary, because, like, this deck is, yeah, usually a really, really bad match. But we got super lucky and managed to steal game 1 because he played the Steam Vents. Scalding Tarn? Okay, well, you can't use the Scalding Tarn, so that doesn't affect my decision. So I think we win. He's out of mana, right? He can't do anything else. I guess if he has Fury, he could Fury me out. No, we got there. All right, good games, opponent. All right. Yeah, he gave us the GG. All right. Yeah, good game. There we go. That was a very honorable match. Yeah, game 2 was really, really weird, but we got there. Okay. Let's take a look at our list here. Excellent. Absolutely fucking outstanding work from the Fish fam today. And you know what? All of you here supporting me through this league, you know, you get to win just as much as I do. This is a win for the whole Fish fam. So here we go. That is how you navigate the waters of Merfolk here, and I gotta say, like, basically every card in the deck did its job today, so we were on point. We had some difficult matches for sure. Like, they weren't all just gimmies, so it took some real effort to get through. But yeah, everything looked good. I think we sided in all the cards, which one of the metrics I like to look at is if I'm consistently using most, or if not all, of the sideboard throughout my leagues, that usually means it's pretty close to the correct 75. And I think, yeah, we've definitely made use of every card today. Even Phantasmal Image did what it was supposed to do, copying a Fury and keeping us in the game against Scam. Fantastic work. I can't sing the praises of the deck enough. So, yeah, it's pretty... We've been playing a pretty consistent shell with just a few little tweaks here and there. I mean, you could probably change a few cards. Like, if you want to play, like, another Dockhand, that's fine. Or, you know, if I like the Harbingers, and I think that I like the images here, but if you want to, like, maybe play something else in, like, those slots, it's definitely possible to do that. This is the configuration I've been, like, leaning towards and, like, working towards over the last, like, few leagues that we've played with this. And it really does feel pretty good to me. I am definitely interested in playing more with Mana Leak, because I do think that this card is going to be a little bit more helpful against some of the decks we struggle with, like Elementals and Scam, where Force of Negation is not always that great, where Mana Leak can also counter some of the more relevant spells, like a lot of the creatures. Stuff like, you know, Seasoned Pyromancer, Grief, Fury, and then, you know, again, like Elementals, you get to counter, like, the Solitudes and Omnaths and Elishnorns, as well as the Planeswalkers that are a problem, so... Yeah, I think it's worth testing with this more. Do I think that Change the Equation may take the place of Mana Leak? That is a fantastic question. I am glad you asked that. Because this is a new card. Is it all? Let me see if it... I don't know if it's going to be on here or not, but we'll find out. I don't think that it's actually here. Hold on. I'll pull it up so that we can actually look at, see what this does. Because it is a very real question, and the card does a lot of interesting things. But before I start talking about it, I want everybody to be able to actually see the card. So let me grab an image of it. So, nope, not solve the equation. We want change the... There we go. All right, let me... I got this. I got this. We're making it work. Thank you. Change the equation. Here we go. This is the card we're talking about. This is new. It's a spoiler from, what is it, the Aftermath or March of the Machines, whatever the new set is. So, yeah, so the first thing to note is that if you look at our mana base here, we can't play Counterspell, and that's one of the reasons we're trying Mana Leak, is because double blue with this mana base is just really difficult. We only have 13 blue sources, and most of the Merfolk decks only play with 12. If you want to play with Counterspell, you need a minimum of 16, and I think that it is preferable to actually have 17. So, yeah, Counterspell is just like, with this mana base, not playable. However, Change the Equation has the same mana cost as Mana Leak, so it is actually very castable in our deck. So that is already a plus in its favor. So looking at the actual functions of this card, hold on, I want us to be able to see the sideboard to compare it as well. Let's take a look and see what roles it actually fills here. So countering a target spell with mana value 2 or less. So first off the bat, the decks where this is going to be the most relevant are going to be Rhinos and Living Ends, because it can counter both the signature cards of both of those decks, since their mana value is 0. So you automatically have a card that just 2 mana hard counter a 0 mana spell, which is very good against Cascade. It also can be used to counter some of the removal spells. So if they are casting, was it Fire and Ice? Yeah, you can counter either half of that with this, which is nice. Or if, yeah, you can counter Ice with it because of this half, and both parts of this actually counter Ice. So it can hit some of the removal, so that's also nice. Then so before we start looking at the rest of it, it does counter removal spells. So I would not normally bring in a counter spell to counter removal specifically, but it does hit stuff like Fatal Push and Lightning Bolt, so things of that sort. They do get hit by this, so that's worth remembering. And the second part is where it gets a little more interesting, because countering red or green spells with mana value 6 or less. So let's think about the red and green spells that we would actually want to counter with this thing. Fury is probably the biggest one. Fury being at mana value 5 means we have a 2 mana card that counters one of the most devastating cards against the deck. Perfect. I like that. Omnath is another one that's really important. You can bring it in because it both red and green, so that's fine. Same thing with Wrenn and 6. Wrenn and 6 gets hit by both halves of this anyway, so we have it's a 2 mana card that counters Wrenn and 6. That's great. It is actually pretty good. It counters Indomitable Creativity. It is a red spell, 6 or less, usually, right? Because I think they can cast it for X, but normally it's going to be 6 or mana value or less, so you can bring in its Creativity. And it hits Persist, and it also hits the Prismari command, so very good against the Creativity deck, I would say. It counters Breach. That is also a very important one. So off the bat, there's at least like 3, I would say, pretty good matches to bring it in against. It is a card that deals with both halves of Creativity, and it's a card that, you know, it's good against the Cascade decks. It's also, if you're going up against a lot of like Jund Saga, like that deck is a deck that is full of 2 mana value or less cards and or red or green spells. So it hits almost everything in like the Jund decks. So there you go. Another really, really good use of this card. So there is definitely a home for it depending upon what your metagame looks like. Sometimes Mana Leak is going to, you know, the game's going to drag on and against a deck like Jund, and Mana Leak is not going to actually do the job. So, get the fuck out of my chat, the stupid bot. No, we're not doing that. And we're deleted. No, absolutely not doing that. It could potentially be useful against Hammer Time, because all the important spells against Hammer Time are 1 mana or 2 mana. We're looking at actually hammer, the Sigarda's Aid, and Stoneforge Mystic. Those are like the 3 big ones, and it counters all 3 of them, which is good. The thing is, it is slow. If you're on the draw, it's probably not going to be fast enough, and so I don't normally like Mana Leak against that deck just because it's a little bit slow, whereas Force of Negation on the draw means that you can still counter like the turn 1 Sigarda's Aid or whatever. But it also counters a Pure Steel Paladin, which is also worth noting. So it depends. Like, it's probably playable against that deck, but I don't know if I would I don't know that I would put it in my sideboard specifically for that purpose. It might just be a card that I would look to if I have stuff I need to take out and I'm not sure what I can bring in. It seems like it's an okay card for that. But there are at least some matches, you know, where I would say this is a really good card. Now, the spots where it's going to falter, where Mana Leak is probably going to be better against decks like Tron, where, you know, you have lots of spells that, you know, Change the Equation is just going to miss. Like, you're not countering most of the important spells in Tron with it. So that's something to think about. against like some of the control decks, it might be a little bit rough. Like you're not always going to be able to hit like, prismatic ending, like if it's 3 or more. Yeah, there's a lot of like planeswalkers and stuff that change the equation. It's not going to be able to counter stuff like Liliana or Teferi. It's going to miss. So there's definitely a few holes that the Mana Leak covers that change the equation doesn't. So I'd say in the like overall, Mana Leak is probably a little bit stronger, but if your metagame is tilted in a particular direction, there's a very good chance that like you could look to change the equation and it might just be a better pick. So I would buy a playset of this card. It's like an uncommon, so I'm gonna buy a set of foils just to keep in my binder. I mean, in my binder, I always have like a lot of type, like a lot of cards of this type where they're things that I look to constantly. Like, okay, I don't know if I want to play something like, I don't know, Remand or Aether Gust right now, but they're definitely cards I'm always considering in the back of my mind because they do something very unique and they're good against a lot of decks. So like, another deck where change the equation might actually be better than Mana Leak is probably Amulet Titan because it counters, Amulet of Vigors, and it can also counter Primeval Titans. But, that's assuming they don't have like Cavern of Souls. So you do have, but it does counter like the other stuff though, like Dryads and Azusa. So there's a lot of targets for it there. So I would probably consider bringing it in against that deck. Whereas they can pretty easily get out of Mana Leak range with a lot of their stuff. So there's a lot of consideration to that. I would say definitely get a set of this. I don't know how often I might play this, but it's definitely one of the cards where you should probably think about it. Oh yeah, Grist is another spell where actually the whole Yawgmoth deck, I should say, is like Mana Leak is fine against that deck, but like they can overpower Mana Leak sometimes where they get to 6 mana and they just cast Eldritch Evolution and you can't leak it. You will always be able to leak like the Eldritch Evolution with it. Now the spot where it's going to be a little bit weaker is if they like chord for X equals 4. You will miss that card with change where leak could probably hit it. So there's a little bit of tension back and forth, but change the equation counters like the vast majority of the cards that are in the Yawgmoth deck. Pretty much everything that's like not actually Yawgmoth itself, which I do gotta say that is like a pretty big like asterisk next to it, but that's kind of been the problem a lot is basically if Yawgmoth resolves against the Merfolk deck, like you're screwed. So I don't know if that alone is enough to like make me prefer Mana Leak over it, but there's definitely some questions to at least be asked about it. So yeah, like you have to look at the analysis but match by match and kind of get an idea of like, okay, what are the matches that I want this card for? How am I like there might be a place in your sideboard for it depending on how you're going to construct the deck. So I thought that this is one of like the few cards that's actually worth really looking into and discussing for the toolbox because it does a lot of unique things that there's a lot of like holes that it fills that like aren't cleanly filled by a lot of other cards. So it's always worth like checking these things as they come out. So yeah, it's a good question, and like I said, I will definitely be buying a foil playset of this for my binder. Even if I don't end up playing it, it's definitely good enough where I could play it. So I would want to own them just in case. And like they're an uncommon, so it's not like they're going to be terribly expensive anyway. So there we go. That is my nice and comprehensive answer about this card. Oh, wow. It's actually almost exactly 9 o'clock, so I'm guessing that Lord Asex is going to be starting momentarily. Yeah, because he is actually going to be streaming Merfolk, like, right after we are. So maybe if we can hold out for, like, another few minutes, we can go over and say hi to him as soon as he gets his stream. We'll see how close you are to starting. Let me check and see where he's at. Yeah. That would be the ultimate way to end the stream, is to smoothly sail the ship from one Merfolk 5-0, and maybe we'll see another one tonight. Who knows? That would be really awesome. I'd love to see more Merfolk getting the job done. So Yeah, he said that in about a minute, like it was when he said he was intending to start. So hopefully that means like any minute now he's gonna be getting ready to go live. But I know like whenever I'm streaming, I'm usually like a few minutes late. So oh, you know what? There is actually one other thing that we can talk about while before we like end for this. I had another poll question which I thought was pretty interesting, and I had a fair bit of feedback on it, and I thought it was an interesting question to ask. So let me grab that quick. Here we go. So I had asked if you could only make one of the following formats real, which one would you choose? And so I asked modern with no supplemental set. So this would be modern with nothing that's like direct to modern. So like no Modern Horizons or anything of that sort. No like Lord of the Rings, because that's a direct to modern set. And 42% of people were really on board with that idea. So and then after that, we had historic with only paper legal cards. So like no alchemy stuff, like no rebalancing, like no digital only cards. It would be only paper stuff. 26% of people were, said that would be, out of these four, their preferred format. Legacy with no supplemental set. Similar to modern, there would be no Modern Horizon stuff, but also no commander stuff. So it would only be stuff that has gone through standard, the same way that like modern used to be. So like you wouldn't have like True Name Nemesis, but you would get to keep Scavenging Ooze, because even though it was introduced in a commander set, it was reprinted in it originally came out in a commander set, but it was reprinted in a standard set later on. So I think it was like M14, if I recall. So yeah, like 22% of people were on board for that, and then the other 10% were on for what I think is kind of underrated, Exodus Forward Artisan. So only commons and uncommons from the Exodus set forward, which Exodus is the first Magic the Gathering set that had colored mana colored rarity symbols on them. So it was the first set that had like the silver for uncommons on it. And actually, I gotta be honest, all of these sets I think would be really interesting, and I would like to play all of them. So yeah, I kind of expected that modern would modern with no supplemental sets would probably get the most votes out of all four of these, but I was legacy and historic were pretty even. I didn't actually realize there was. I kind of like, I think, underestimated how much historic with paper only what it was. But I guess that makes sense, because I think at one point SCG was trying to do like streams of it before they added digital only cards to it. They were like playing like paper historic, so, and people seemed to be excited about that until Wizards found a way to ruin that. So it now, like, yeah, looking at this, like more people seem to prefer that than they would actually legacy without this stuff. And I know a lot of the legacy players I talk to really hate the Modern Horizon stuff in the format, but I guess more people actually care about historic. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. These are all formats, like I said, I would want to play, and I would be really interested if like there were like leagues or something for that. So all right, so we got another Merfolk stream coming in like 5 to 10 minutes. So uh, all right, so all right. Oh, you know what? Okay, let's go and entertain ourselves this way. Let's open a treasure chest. We put all this effort in to go and win these treasure chests with this 5-0. We may as well open one of them, right? All right. Let's see. What do we get, everybody? Let's look at this. We got 5 play points, a Chandra Nalar, and a Suraker Spellblade. I think that's about as little as we possibly could have opened from a treasure chest. This is also the reason that I normally just sell the treasure chests, because they're usually about 2.5 tickets a piece. They fluctuate between like 2.3 to 2.5 ticks, so I usually try to wait until they're close to 2.5 and then sell them to the bots. But yeah, I guess let this be a lesson. This is why you probably should not open up the treasure chest, because sometimes you can get incredibly lucky, but most of the time, like, this is what you're going to end up opening. It's like cards that are barely worth anything, so I don't even know. Like, what does this guy actually do? When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets a charge counter. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw X cards with the number of charge counters on it. That seems like, on a 3-drop with no evasion, that is an incredible level of hope and prayer going into that. So you have to spend 3 mana to cast a 2/1, which is not very big in combat. He has no evasion. Then you have to cast an instant or sorcery spell to put any charge counters on this thing. And then it has to make it through. It has to first of all survive a full turn so it gets to attack. It has to make it through an attack and hit the opponent in the face. And only then do you get to draw like maybe 1 or 2 cards. I don't know, man. Good for you. And this creature type, Sarakar. What? I don't even know what that is. It looks like it probably should be a merfolk, and yet somehow it's not. You know what is a merfolk and is also just like way better than this? Here, let's shit. So for the same 3 mana that you would have spent on this, please tell me that. Oh, look, I'm not looking under cards, that's why. Yeah, wait, can we find this thing? Oh my god. Did I spell it wrong? Come on. Oh, cold-eyed? Was that why? All right. How particular is this search function here? Can we this is so much. All right, come on. Search. There we go. We got it. All right, there we go. Cold Eye Selkie. Here we go. So for the same mana cost, you get a 1/1 that it has Island Walk. So you lose 1 point of power, but it has Island Walk. It's a merfolk, and whenever it deals combat damage, you draw that many cards. So it already comes with like a charge counter on it and evasion. And because it's a merfolk, there's a very high chance that it would be getting bonuses from lords and stuff instead. So yeah, I don't know. That just goes to show the difference between like some of these cards. Like this card is not even one that like really sees a lot of play, and it's arguably like it's almost like strictly better than that. So yeah, that's how disappointing our treasure chest was. We couldn't even get Cold-Eyed Selkie. Oh, what a way. Uh-oh. No, it's going to show way too many cards here. All right. Only show me the stuff I own. There we go. Perfect. All right. How close are we here? Hopefully any minute. I know. I want to go and watch his stream too. It's like now 9:08. Chat, how are you doing? Help me. I'm trying to keep this going just for another like minute or two. Did you enjoy the 5-0 here? So what we ended up playing against the first deck, which we weren't sure if it was like a value breach list. I guess that is probably where we were at. Yeah, value breach, scam, Tron, the Prowess deck, and what was the other one? We had it was the other one was I think an actual Izzet Murktide list, right? Yeah, so there we go. Those were our 5. I think that yeah, that was a pretty interesting gauntlet. Fantastic. Wishing more large paper tournaments were coming to the East Coast. New England area. So yeah, you know, so I live like between like Philadelphia and New York City, so like there's usually like at least a couple every year. So I did hit up MagicCon, and I was there with Nikachu, so that was pretty cool. The original Merfolk Master, of course. I do miss like yeah SCG, and like they did have a lot more events a while ago. Like the one that was closest to me would be either Valley Forge or Somerset. Those I would try to go to those two all the time, and we would usually have at least a few of them a year in each one of those spots. So yeah, there were a lot more SCGs. And I liked when they were plentiful and for lots of different formats, and also what was I gonna say? Yeah, they're scattered around. Like the circuit was like huge. It was great. I was like a huge fan of SCG stuff. So I mean, I think like they've been trying to get back into the swing of their circuit. So yeah, what's their tour look like right now? Do they have anything scheduled at this point? 'Cause I know like they did for a while, but yeah, does SCG have a schedule at this point? Or like, is it just like Magic Con that's doing all this stuff? No, here, no, we do have a couple. Yeah, because they have been like doing some now. So let's see, yeah, April. So what is it? This coming weekend they're in Richmond, and then actually yeah. So what is it? June they're in Baltimore. Yeah, that's not too far away. Like it's probably a little bit further south than where you're at, but Baltimore is like a big one that they usually did a lot. Your play group is giving you shit for not being in the top 8 yet. Only been to 5 events total. So you want to know a fun fact? The first round of like competitive Magic that I ever played was at I believe it was SCG. It was like an SCG Standard Open at I think Providence, Rhode Island. And in my first match ever, I got a game loss because I presented a deck with 59 cards in it. I was playing a Naya like human blitz deck with Burning Tree Emissary and Champion of the Parish in it, and my Champion of the Parish got exiled by a Selesnya charm, and I put it to the side. And for game 3, I did not put the Champion of the Parish back into my deck. So my first round of competitive Magic, I lost game 3 because of a game loss. And guess what mistake I have never made ever since that day? I count the deck list every single time now just to make sure that I don't make that mistake again. Yeah, it takes a lot of practice like doing this stuff. So, and a lot of like stuff yeah, it's muscle memory. Once you start doing it, then you get in the swing of it, and you just like instinctively know it's like, okay, these are the things I need to do and check for. I always look at my sideboard before start shuffling. I make sure that the correct 15 cards are still in the deck box, and that there are no more than 15 cards in the deck box. You've only ever played Merfolk, the closest you got with 19. One way went away from. I've been in the top 64 for a couple different legacy events. I think I've been like 33rd and like 34th place in like some of them. And that was like when I had first started out playing like competitive legacy. So like I was very inexperienced with a deck, and I was still like winning a lot because back in the day, like legacy Merfolk would just like absolutely slaughter like Delver, and it would slaughter Miracles. It was not even close. So yeah, like I think in my life I maybe lost like one matchup to the Miracles ever, and it was because that was around the time when they started switching to over to Monastery Mentors, because that was realistically the only way they could even hope to like fight Merfolk is turn 3, get a Mentor online, protect it from Dismember, and like then cast a million spells before Merfolk killed them. So, but yeah, I never actually got the top 32 of like a big event like that. Or not like Legacy. I think I did once in Modern. I made like no, I think in the Modern one, I think it was also like in the top 64. 'Cause Yeah, because I got money for I ended up using that to buy. I still got prize money from that, so I'm trying to think. Did I make top 32 or is it 60? I got prizes from it and I used it to buy a Liliana the Veil when it was like $100 at that point. But the big events are hard. They really drain you and it's tough. I'll tell you, like, one of the important things you're probably like noticing yourself. It's not just a matter of like knowing your deck and knowing how to play well. It's like you have to like also manage physical, expectations too. Like you have to make sure that you have enough to eat, enough to drink, and find time to find take bathroom breaks in between the rounds. Like it's tolling on your body, and by the end of the day, like it's mentally exhausting. You keep making mistakes over and over, and it's a lot of times, like a lot of people, and I know I'm guilty of this, I don't really get enough sleep before a lot of the events because it's just hard for me to sleep before an event like that. So a lot of people are already playing like tired, and it doesn't get better by the end of the day. So it takes a lot of effort, both like physically and mentally, to like stay in a game that long. Oh yeah, but no, I like playing in those kinds of events. Like whenever they're around, I usually try to. If my as long as my schedule permits it, like anything that's within like an hour of driving distance, I try to make the time to go out and do. So I believe, yeah, I won like an invitational qualifier, like what is it, like the try see, Star City had like so many of these events, but like I think it was like the qualifying event to like that. So, but I believe that I chose to split with the opponent, and I offered them like the trip because I didn't want to go to Roanoke that year or something, and I took the prizes. Yeah, it's yeah, and I don't think I ever got to like win a PTQ. That was something that was on my bucket list that I didn't quite get to. The GP trials, I have won one of those before, because I think that I won the one that was like for standard in Pittsburgh, and I did go, and I remember I didn't do terribly well at that, but still, like that was back when I was still playing standard pretty regularly in paper, like when standard was still fun. Like I've lost my appeal for it. Like, oh, all right. I think we're good here. We've managed to make it here. Yeah, the play point system towards buys. There were good and bad things about that. I like it basically meant that if you wanted to play like a GP, like you basically needed to go and do something to qualify for the buys. So if you wanted to like have any realistic chance of winning the event, so I could see like not everybody has the means to like get to the number of tournaments that you need to in order to do that, or but at the same time, like it's also rewarding for putting in the effort. So there were pros and cons to it, no pun intended. But yeah, there was a lot of incentive to play Magic all the time, and there was a point where I was literally just playing. I would play like sometimes 3 times a week at my local game store, because I would go for like Modern, and then play like Pauper, and then also play like Draft on Fridays and stuff. So yeah. Jam as much as I can. That's how you learn. You just keep practicing over and over again. So all right, it has been long enough. We've been chit chatting for a little bit longer than I intended, but it's okay, because now it's time to go, and we're gonna go watch more Merfolk with our buddy. So everybody, thank you for being here with me tonight. Thank you for enjoying this glorious 5-0 with me. If you're watching the replay on my YouTube channel, I am Lord Magicus on YouTube as well. Please click the thumbs up, leave some comments. I read through them and I try to respond to all of them. They mean a lot to me. Yeah, I absolutely appreciate that. So let's go and hopefully support another Merfolk player and see if we can get them the support they need to get another 5-0 for Merfolk. Come on, we want 2 in one day, right? Let's go, everybody. Thank you so much. I will see you again next time.